afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, February 4, 2025. Excuse me, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call tomorrow night after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go beyond what's happening in your face, what's happening now. We're going to go beyond that. Commitment unlocks the doors of imagination, allows vision, and gives us the high, right stuff to turn our dreams into reality. James Womack. We have, all of us, contained within us a inexhaustible spiritual source of energy. And the reason we're able to create things, manifest things, is because our body-mind is a channel for this energy. Love and creativity that is found only in the present moment. It isn't found in yesterday. It isn't found in tomorrow. It's only found in the present moment. And the more present we are, the more our body opens to this manifesting power, and the richer our experience of this life becomes. With a consistent, relaxed, yet focused awareness on what we want instead of what we don't want, do not want, we will naturally and continuously manifest amazing things. Now, that seems very simple, right? If I stay in yesterday and tomorrow, I'm going to suffer because yesterday and tomorrow is controlled, supervised, and managed by the ego mind. And our awareness, as it becomes more and more apparent, we are able to differentiate between those two avenues. And yes, we have all of this information and stuff that we've acquired through this lifetime so far, which it kind of intervenes a lot, and it mingles, and so it becomes very confusing. A true commitment is a key for us to stay in heart-mind, in the now. That opens up the channel to the God within us and this inexhaustible spiritual source of energy. So we direct that energy, which is us, which is who we truly are. So we direct that energy on things in this material physical life that we desire. Now, when we get it mixed, okay, easy to do, we mix it and then we find ourselves in frustration, disappointment, irritation, anger. And because of our awareness, even though we're experiencing that, we can say to ourselves, I don't really care to indulge myself in this. And this is ego-mind influence. So, like in these meditations, we find a comfortable place. We have no outside distractions. We relax into our bodies. We're as still as a statue, and we focus on our breath rising and falling. That's the focus, right there. That's what moves us into the now. Nothing else moves us there. Now, the ego mind can say, okay, well, it tricks us into believing that we're in the now. But yet, when we are aware, we know that certain things occur, and we go, this isn't the now. This is yesterday and tomorrow. And none of us are exempt from it. We are influenced by it because it's how we've been guided or directed by the ego mind. For instance, if anyone were to focus while they're in the ego mind, insecurity, never satisfied, always wanting, and becoming disappointed, having expectations, and having attachments to any outcome that we're focused on. And because of the ego mind, we become doubting with ourselves. We doubt things. We may express it with ourselves, and we feel strong about it, but then these little things come in, and we start doubting. Oh, maybe this won't work. Will this really work? What will happen if it doesn't? This has got to work. And the majority of the time it doesn't work. And this is when we talk about suffering. It's not like being beaten up or any of that stuff, physical pain, although that can happen. But it's emotional. And remember, our bodies are highly emotional vessels. So we say to ourselves, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to move myself into the now. It's your choice. It's no one else's. If one were to sit and concentrate through life on, they've got all this horrible stuff and, there's this dark cloud hanging over them and then they keep focusing on that and then they have more of that and more of that come into their lives. And the ironic thing about it is that they're not aware that they're creating it. They're not aware that they're creating it. Now, some of us get to the point where we get aware enough and our commitment is super strong that we just focus. We focus out of yesterday and tomorrow. And we do that by saying the only real existence that we have in these bodies is now. It isn't yesterday, it isn't tomorrow. Obviously, we have thoughts come in from the past, from yesterday. Could be 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and they just pop in. And those are ego mind thoughts that come in. And it's also our subconscious, which replays everything. It records everything. And as it records everything, it randomly plays it back. And as long as we're in the ego mind, have you ever noticed that you might replay things? Things might happen. They seem familiar. Not quite exactly as you first time around you experience. But you go, this is eerily familiar to me. That's why. It's because we've created things through ego mind, and the subconscious mind records it, and then it plays it back at random intervals, and then we experience it again. But our discipline and commitment and knowing, as far as awareness, we know that we can move into the now in a split second. It's not running from anything. It's because we know what that is. We've been in it for a very long time. And we just don't care to be in it anymore. And as we do that, we make that transition into the now, the heart mind, things begin to fall into place. We realize that we don't have anything to fear because the fear doesn't exist in the now. That's gone. It disappears. The worries and problems and challenges and situations in our lives fade out. The mind chatter fades away. And it's not there. The only thing that's there is silence. And you focusing on the now and your breath rising and falling as still as you possibly can be. And you experience a lightness. It isn't obtrusive or destructive or vibrationally unsound. It's just pure peace. We're not thinking. If you think, you're an ego mind. We're just being. And we're all taught, well, you can't just sit around and do nothing. You've got to be productive and active. See, that's the social structure on this planet. When in actuality, we're always doing. We're always active. But it isn't in the context of saying, well, it's ego mind, I've got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, all these physical applications and everything, and decisions and all that. That's ego mind. When you begin, when the now unfolds, your awareness increases, you choose for your vibrational frequency to increase through peace in heart-mind, you start to gravitate to it more and more. And you remove yourself from yesterday and tomorrow. Because all we have is the now. Every one of us. Doesn't matter if you're a newborn baby or a 100-year-old man or woman. It's the now. And when we get into that and we feel the opening of our hearts and how we interact with the God that we are in the body, the pure consciousness, then we're able to start directing and guiding rather than being in servitude to the ego mind. It no longer is our master. And it doesn't really know, see, it's not sure because we don't do it blatantly revengeful or anything like that. We do it with love, deep eternal love, and we move slowly but surely more and more focusing on the now. And we also begin to learn that we can focus on things without doing really, physical this or doing, and have it manifest because there's no obstruction. There's no interference. Ego mind doesn't exist there, so it can't interfere with your focus. And it's at such an ease and a high frequency that you just release it. And now your confidence, faith, and trust is 100%. There's no crack in that. And because it's 100%, you have that same perspective on the universe. And then you realize how truly powerful you are, because when you say to yourself, I am the universe, and the universe is me. You've heard me often make the statement that 1 cubic meter of space has enough energy, pure energy, when directed correctly, to boil all the oceans on this planet. Look at the immensity of that. Look at the power, and you are that power. You're not a smidgen or a little piece. You are the power. That's the difference. And what the influences have done on a continual basis on this planet is to make us believe deeply that we are not the power. That the power is out there directing us. And it isn't. And when we begin to become more aware and discover that, now we're not upset with it, because it's a discovery and we're really happy about it, that we know that now. And we have this seat, right? Control seat, we'll call it. It's all shiny and it's sparkling and everything. It looks like it's hardly ever been used, if any, if at all. And that's the master and commander. And we sit in it for just the very first time, and it feels really good and comfortable. And we feel very powerful through heart-mindedness. And we can see everything, all of it, without judgment. We watch, we learn, we experience. And that's what this playground we've set up with this planet is all about. We go out and we enjoy life. We also know our responsibility to stay in the now. We also know that we will be seduced at times into yesterday and tomorrow. Because after all, we're in a material physical body, and we have created a material physical world so that we could enjoy it. And have you ever noticed that different influences throughout your life, some you just wave off, others you focus more on, depending on where it's coming from, the source, and your perspective. And so some of them you embrace and you practice. But when you realize that a make-believe creation has been layered over our creation to keep us in the feeling of separation. Saying, well, we'll lose our individuality if we're all one. Why? Why would we do that? That wouldn't happen. Because we know who and what we are. And any energy, anywhere, once we focus on the now, and we are pretty much committed to the now, we can move that energy because we're part of that energy. And we have a very high consciousness. And we can plug into it 24/7. The crucial element is what we believe. What we believe we are is what we become. So when you believe there's no doubt, you don't have any fear, you have total faith, trust, and confidence in yourself from the heart, through the heart-mind. None of that exists. It just literally vanishes. And you see things as we have created them to be for us to enjoy. This is, sometimes you hear the veil, it's a veiled deception to keep us gods in being tricked and seduced 24/7. Now, when you get so immersed in physical material, you lose your embrace of the God that you are within that body, then you're lost. This is why a lot of people feel, they say, sometimes I feel like I'm just totally lost. I don't know what to do next. And I always say, meditate. Meditation isn't religion. It is a practice that we use to pray to the God that we are within these bodies. And listen. You ever been in a conversation with someone? And you listen, right? Listen to them talk, listen to them express. You're not judging or anything, and they're just going and going and going and going and going. And whenever you choose to communicate something or say something, you're not able to because they're so focused on what they're saying. And that's ego mind control. So what you do is you step back and you just listen. And you learn a lot by listening. Sometimes people talk over you. You ever had that happen? You're talking, you're excited about something, you're doing what you can to express, and they interrupt, and they're so excited, and it's an interruption upon interruption upon interruption upon interruption. It doesn't feel great, right? It motivates the ego mind. And then you start saying things, well, they think they know it all, and I can't get a word in edgewise, and, all I do is listen to them talk. Who's learning more? The one who talks or the one who listens? Well, obviously it's the one who listens. Because they're expressing themselves, and you're learning all kinds of things about yourself and them. And it's quite interesting how in ego mind, we don't cover that. We become irritated, frustrated, impatient, pushy maybe, and then everybody's, then you interrupt. And someone will say, you don't mind if I interrupt right here, do you? And then they start talking. But what I've learned is that you just listen. Listen to whatever it is they're saying. Because the point is that ego mind is trying to push you to talk about you and your things. In heart mind, you have no motivation at all to do that. You know exactly who and what you are in that body. You know that you're you have a deep eternal love for the God that you are in that body, and your vibrational frequency is very high. And sometimes the universe brings people in through our intentions that teach us. In fact, everybody that comes into your life is a teacher. For instance, you have a couple that's coupled together, and at first everything is on fire and great, and then things kind of fade out. There's a camaraderie or companionship there through habitual practice of being around someone all the time, and then ego mind brings that fear in. You become reliant on that space being filled by that being. And this is ego mind, because in heart mind we don't have attachment. We don't have expectation. We know, emphatically so, that in heart mind what we focus on, we create, we manifest every single time. And the only way we don't do that is when we're not in heart mind. See, when our body mind becomes a channel for the inexhaustible spiritual source of energy, love and creativity, it's only found in the moment. It's never found anywhere else. Now, a lot of us will look everywhere outside of ourselves when everything we will ever need, ever, throughout eternity, is within us. This entire universe and its divine consciousness is our very nature. And this has total command over all the elements, atoms, subatomic particles, quantum particles, subquantum particles. We could go on forever. And thought forms in existence. In existence. This is the truth of who we are. We were told by others that, hey, you are your body. You are your name and identity that has a fraction of the truth of what and who you truly are. Now, when we begin to experience, in order for us to truly understand, comprehend the powerful manifesting beings that we are, we simply choose or need to experience it for ourselves. And to have this experience, we need to access our infinite potentiality by practicing dropping deeply inside as much as we can. Now, some of us will say, obviously because of our, in this life, how we've been influenced, and so there's certain principles, which are the keys, that will enlighten and awaken the enlightened manifestors within us. When you feel, and many do feel this way, that they don't have the right tools, methods, or vehicle to take their life to its dream destination, at that stage when that comes in, you just let that one go. You let it just pass by. I don't care to interact with that. And when you wake up and you realize the all-powerful truth of who you really are, you'll notice how easy and effortless it is to manifest whatever your heart desires. Doesn't it make sense, right? But it isn't even debatable. We are omnipotently supreme, omnipotently powerful, manifesting, abundant beings that never die. Why would we have that? Why would we as a collective consciousness created that and not use it? Ever. Or on the rare occasion that we do, we don't know that we do. See, it's not like ego mind says, oh, there's only a few people that this and that and this and that on the planet. When in actuality, it's all of us. Always has been. And in this choice and this direction that you commit to practice being in the now, you will eventually discover that you already have everything that you want. And now you've learned how to manifest it, how to create it. Move that energy. The universe moves the energy upon your request into your reality. And it comes in the form of a manifestation of your focus. There's no doubt, questioning, or anything by you. You just know it within your heart mind. The difference between ego mind and heart mind in that place is that you feel like boasting and bragging an ego mind about what you have just created. And heart mind, you have no motivation to do that at all because it's for you. It's for you. And every one of us on this planet, if you've heard me numerous times say, we all deserve the best of everything. Every one of us do. Why wouldn't we? We're pure consciousness in these bodies, and these bodies are temporary. And everything we do is temporary. It's so we can enjoy it. Not to say that we don't on occasion, because we all do in certain times. But that's our natural state of being. Enjoying life, learning, knowing that we can manifest. Sometimes we'll manifest things even knowing it, but we're not, there's elements there that we didn't cover in our request that surprise us. This is why I say, always look at both sides of the coin. Many people, because of ego mind, are afraid to look at the other side of the coin. They become very adamant, very standoffish. No, I'm just going to look at this here. And we embrace everything without fear. It's like I've used the analogy. All of a sudden you have a lot of money. To you, way beyond anything you could ever imagine. And you're happy and you're excited and your adrenaline's pumping. You're just absolutely elated. And then when all the smoke settles and everything, you sit and you say, things will come in, right? Ego mind things come in. And it might be little at first. These little things will come in, and you start thinking and go, how am I gonna direct this, and how am I gonna know that who I direct it to is good? How am I gonna help people? How am I going to not appear in the public eye? How am I going to appear like I've always appeared without showing the side of what I have now accumulated? And through heart-mindedness, it's just those things are not there. You know that because you have the faith in yourself, trust in yourself, confidence in yourself in this universe, that it'll all just come together. And that's difficult for many because inevitably or invariably, the ego mind comes in and gives you doubt. And it gives you questioning yourself. And it gives you worry. And it gives you fear. And we know that all those things are just thoughts until we spray a little of our spiritual power on it. And then it becomes more and more and more and more and more. See, there is a deep stillness and silence within you always that is intimately connected to the all-loving divine universal intelligence in the present moment. There exists an inner knowing and understanding that you are all-powerful and extremely magical. This body, this mind, and this universe are a magical hologram in which you can create anything you desire at any time. And that's not a fairy tale. That's the truth. When you have a consistent positive flow of intention and high emotional energy toward any desired outcome, this sacred magical universe has to assist you in the present moment. Because this is what we do 24/7. We manifest. We create. We are creators. This is what we all do. You can see how delicate it is because our awareness for many is not there. The real power of manifesting is only possible when we are truly showing up in the present moment. The instant we stop being 100% engaged in what our now experience of life is, by getting up in your head about the past or future, life loses its juicy flavor. Deeper spiritual meaning and overall divine manifesting experience with an open and centered energy. Your thoughts manifest from your core creative self. And you magically co-create your life. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through your nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain focused and relaxing into your body. Being still and focused on your breath rising and falling. Did you know that you are the most brilliant than the brightest star? Did you know that your light is more breathtaking than the biggest and deepest galaxy? You might want to take off that old lampshade that you have been hiding under. Let your radiant light be seen today. This world needs you, and we are ready to receive your radiant essence. You'll find that life is so much more fun for everyone when you let go and let your light shine. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. And we will return here Wednesday, February 5, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. After 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our time for change call. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's happening within you or outside of you.